Come on, you got to believe me once in a while. I know you don't want to, but just like once in a while. Come on, I can get you on my side on this one at least, I think. Laura Kelly stands to be the biggest winner in all this. I've said that for weeks, and I believe that to be true. If Laura Kelly were to get either of these teams to Kansas, it will set her up for her hand-picked Democratic successor to win the Kansas governor's race in 2026, in part by saying we brought a pro-sports franchise to Kansas. And now Democrats in Kansas are saying the same thing. This is out of the Missouri Independent. Stephanie Clayton is a state rep in Overland Park. She is a Democrat. And she said during yesterday's meeting that she was struggling with the proposal, quote, because I don't like misogynistic dude bro culture. I don't even know what that means and what that has to do with anything, but whatever. You know, when you got to play the victim card, you got to play the victim card, right? It's like part of the job for many. Hey, I'm just here to play the victim card, you know? Got to hold up my victim status loud and proud. Or something.
As if we needed to know. I don't like peas and carrots together. I'll make that preface for any statement I make.
Thank you, John. And she doesn't like the culture, she says, because the family of the Chiefs, of course, the Hunt family, supported the anti-abortion, and I'm reading this from the Missouri Independent, I would call it the pro-life constitutional amendment that Kansas voters rejected back in 22. So she made that clear, I guess, yesterday, Overland Park Democrat Stephanie Clayton. But she then voted to support the Star Bond proposal. Why? She said that it would warm the cockles of my cold, dead feminist heart to see Laura Kelly get credit for moving the teams into Kansas and not give credit to the dude bros, her words, who have been working on this. Oh, my gosh, this lady is insufferable. Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
She represents many.
Yeah, and I'm well aware. That is why I'm a yes vote, Clayton said. I want a woman getting credit for sports things, so I'm doing it out of spite, is what she said.
Didn't weigh in on Leah Thomas, though.
It's funny how that works.
Mm-hmm.
But she's admitting what I've been saying. The biggest political winner in all this will be Laura Kelly. Most Kansans couldn't name the vast majority of state legislators who are Republicans who are also advocating on behalf of this. And I don't say that with any disrespect. I just say that because it's reality. The people in the political bubble think that people know who they are. And once again, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just most people don't know that Dan Hawkins is the Kansas Speaker of the House. Most people don't know that Ty Masterson is the Kansas Senate President. I couldn't even tell you right. I'm just trying to think. I could name the House Majority Leader. That's Chris Croft right here in Overland Park, who's a guest of the show. I don't know who the Speaker Pro Tem is in Kansas. Probably a Republican. I don't know who that is. Now, if somebody told me the name, I'd probably realize who it is. But the point is, if I don't know who it is, and I'm not saying that because, like, rah-rah, look at me, but, like, this is what I do, then certainly the run-of-the-mill Kansas voter is not going to know who that person is. So when they think about where the credit is going to be given, if the Chiefs or the Royals move to Kansas, it will be directly to the governor of the state, Laura Kelly. And the Democrats in Johnson County are now admitting what I've been saying for weeks. They know that Laura Kelly is by far the biggest beneficiary of all this from a political perspective, and that sets them up very well for 2026. But Republicans are convinced that they somehow benefit from this in Kansas, and I can't figure out why. You have Democrats in the Kansas legislature who are saying they don't even like the bill, they don't even like the team, they don't care about the sports ball stuff, but they're voting for it because they know it benefits Laura Kelly. Way to go. How about a slow clap for you? Thank you, John.
I was trying to remember who the governor of Missouri was when the Chiefs moved here. Point being, the mayor had more pull, his name being H. Robartle, and the team was named after his nickname. Mm-hmm. And yet we don't remember that nowadays, right?
We don't.
How fleeting is that little victory?
Yes.
It's symbolic.
You're right. And I'm not saying Laura Kelly would be worthy of all the credit, but I'm just saying you're talking about an election coming up in 2 years, and if this happens in the next 2 years, she will get all the political equity out of it. It will be nobody else but Laura Kelly who will win politically out of this. It's not going to be some state rep in Salina, state senator in Hayes, someone down in Garden City or Dodge or Pittsburgh or Wichita or anywhere else. It probably also helps incumbent Democrats here in Johnson County, if it helps anybody here in our neck of the woods. It's unbelievable. 913-408-7957. That is the studio line and the text line at 740 here on KCMO Talk Radio. Let's go to you, Dennis in Bonner Springs. Let it rip, Dennis. You're first up. Good morning.
Good morning, Pete. I haven't heard your whole show, so I don't know what all's been touched on. But I want to say something that I find this rather intriguing, that if you look at the numbers of the Kansas House and Senate, and then you look at the vote in Missouri, it's just flipped. These politicians are so out of touch with people, because I would almost guarantee if we got to vote on it, we, the taxpayers of Kansas, we would do what the taxpayers of Jackson County did and vote resoundingly no for it.
Well, here's what may come. I don't think the star bonds are enough. I think there's got to be some type of county or city involvement here. And that's where Wyandotte County residents may have a vote. And, if this thing goes to a ballot, it will be very interesting whether it's some kind of an earnings tax. I don't know if it's a sale. I don't know what it is. But there may be another layer to this that eventually does have to get voted on by the residents, and that will be compelling to see what ends up happening on that front. And you may have a vote in that, Dennis. When and how, I don't know, but you may have a vote in that.
Well, I'm in Leavenworth County, bro, so I won't if it's just Wyandotte County. But my whole point is that this is totally ludicrous, spending this kind of tax dollars for billionaires and millionaires. I know I sound like Bernie, and I apologize.
Well, no, you don't. It's kind of part of this populist wave that is very prevalent on both sides of the political aisle. That's why this thing did not fall along party lines. There are plenty of Republicans and Democrats who voted in favor of it, and many Republicans and Democrats who voted against it. It's really not about, which party you identify with, and that's what makes this issue so fascinating.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 913-408-7957. That is the studio line and the text line on 95.7 FM and streaming, of course, on the KCMO Talk Radio app at 742. We do have that $10,000 Bass Pro Shops shopping spree, text to win keyword, coming up here in just a few minutes, a half hour away from the Tucker Carlson ticket giveaway. And we've got a busy 8 o'clock hour. Josh Hawley will kick it off. Ty Masterson, the Kansas Senate president, and Patrick Tuohy, back to back to back, which is what the Chiefs are trying to do this year as well. Back to back to back. All on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. Okay. Coming up, we got an issue here. The cops were called out to an area Republican headquarters. And it all started because somebody clogged the toilet. I'm just here to share the news of the day with you. I don't think this will get picked up by any other local news outlet, but we will give it to you coming up next on KCMO 95.7 FM and streaming on the KCMO Talk Radio app.